What's going on, guys? This is Darksynth, and in this video I will just be going over the changes I think Ryu should get in terms of buffs, because I do think he will be getting buffed again. Capcom did just put out a tweet saying that a patch is incoming on December 2nd. We'll be getting patch notes on December 1st. So this is kind of like a prediction, but also a wish list of what I kind of want to see for Ryu. There are a few ways you could still buff Ryu without kind of making him overtuned, and I will be going over just that. So this will mainly be going over his fireball game, because as you know, compared to most characters, his fireball game is pretty weak. It's not the worst, it's decent, but it could be better. And one way I think we could do that is by buffing the damage slightly. So all versions, light, medium, and heavy, do 600 damage. So one thing I think they could do is buff that up to 700. Just a simple 100 damage change that could, get your opponent to think twice about, making weird movements and just trying to poke willy-nilly. And so if they buff base damage for that, they'd have to buff the counter hit damage too. So if like you catch your opponent trying to counter poke you, I think maybe this could go up to 750. Like I said, I'm not trying to overtune him, just slightly buff him to where he's just a little stronger in certain areas. Mainly his fireball game. So again, maybe buff this up 30 more damage points to 750. If we're buffing damage, base damage up to 700, this would have to be like 780, maybe 800. So make 800 counter hit damage for fireball. That would make a little more sense. Or just slightly under 800, that'll work for me. I don't care. I'm just not trying to overtune him. Just make him better, like I said, in certain aspects. So with Denjin, I think they could buff this up to like 850. I like the values of the counter hit of regular and EX. So it's 960 and 1200. Maybe make the EX counter hit, or regular counter hit, 1000. And then I'm happy with the 1200. For a counter hit and EX, because that's meter spent. Another change is something that he had in Street Fighter 4 and 5. I don't think he got it implemented until later on in both games. So like around Season 3 in Street Fighter 5, he got it. Super Street Fighter 4 maybe is when he got it, but one change to make his anti-air game a little more deadly too is in the older games, he used to be able to juggle off of a light DP into just super. So if your opponent jumped at you and you read them, they'd be popped up a little higher, and you could juggle into your super or your ultra, your level 1 ultra, which was pretty much a Shin Hadoken or something. So that would make his anti-air game just a little more scary. That mixed in with his fireball game, having a little more damage would be good. So one thing with Donkey Kick I think that could happen is make it slightly have more pushback, but in return also maybe make it like -10. Slightly more pushback, but make it more negative. So that way he can spacing trap a little better. Then there's the guessing game of like, are they gonna jump? Are they gonna try to drive rush in? Or what are they gonna do after? So in that scenario, Ryu is just a little more negative. So it'll be just slightly harder for him to react. But give him, so this will be an actual decent spacing trap. I think this works against a lot of the cast. It's just really iffy against Ken. I'm not trying to say like buff it. Against a lot of the cast too. Even if he misspaces it, like I'll have Ken do crouching medium kick. if I misspace it, I can still get punished. And you kind of have to be at, like, tip range to get it to whiff, even crouching medium kicks, so just slightly give it a little more pushback, not even a whole lot, just a little bit. But again, make it more negative, so it kind of balances it out. And really, that's kind of all I'd change for Ryu. In terms of nerfs, I don't really know what you could do. Maybe make that, like, a little more negative? I don't know. Another thing is his shoulder plexus. I just thought about this. This does 800. I'm thinking maybe 850 would be a sweet spot. Just kind of like buff him with damage with like his fireball and make his anti-air game a little more scary. Because other characters have, especially Ken. Ken can get a whole lot if he gets you to jump a light fireball. He can do like standing heavy punch into run, into like dragon lash, and get some pretty good damaging combos without really using too much meter. In that case, Ryu kind of does, because he has to either use EX Donkey Kick or juggle you with normals and then cancel. So it's pretty spendy for Ryu, so just having that in his arsenal so he wouldn't have to spend as much meter would be great. But yeah, that's really it I would change for Ryu. Leave your thoughts and comments below of what you would change. Even nerfs, if you have any ideas of what you could nerf for Ryu. But honestly, I don't really think he deserves any nerfs, if I'm being serious. He's pretty mid-tier. Like, high mid-tier. He's not high-tier. Maybe with these changes, he'll definitely jump up there. But that's it. This is Darksynth signing out, and I hope you have a good one. Peace.